going to see what the fraction is, and then convert it into the decimal, and then convert it to percentage.
So both of these will work. So both fraction and decimal. So maybe let's go for an example. So for example, if I have a half, how do I turn that into a percentage?
50%.
What do I need to do?
50%.
Sorry?
50%.
Yeah, so it's 50%. So what's the step here? Let's maybe do a more complicated fraction. If I have 3/8, how do I go from 3/8 to a percentage?
So over here we simplified it. So it has to be out of 100. Over 100.
Yeah, so we're trying to get it over 100. But what I'm kind of what I'm trying to kind of get out here is that we have these fractions and decimals are out of 1, whereas percentages are out of 100. So if we're going between fraction, so if we have something on a scale of 0 to 1 and we want to turn it onto a scale of 0 to 100, we need to multiply it by 100.
Yes.
So this step here is multiplying by 100. Okay, so if we go to our example here, this one here we multiply by 100 as well. Now if we actually look at how we do that, we do half multiplied by 100. And remember that multiplying something by a half, it's the same as dividing it by 2. So it's the same as 100 divided by 2, which is 50%.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I want to find 3/8 out of 100, what do I do? Sorry, as a percentage.
So we're going to multiply it by 100. And then we're going to do 100 divided by 2. No, 100
So
divided by
one more zero
8.
there?
100 divided
One more zero there?
Oh yes. And then 100 divided by 8 equals 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5.
And then so it's gonna be equal to 12%.
So that's 1/8.
125%.
Not quite. So you are correct. So we have this. We have 3/8 times by 100. Now you were saying that we want to do 3 times 100 divided by 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we saw that. Then we can start simplifying the fraction. Maybe something like this. So 3 times 25 over 2. Okay. So 50 over. Sorry. Let's do this in a slightly different way. So we have 3/8 times 100. Let's do 3 times 100 over 8. And then, as you said, we do 3 times 100 divided by 8. And then we said that 100 divided by 8 is 12.5. Now, 12.5 times 3 is 37.5.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, sorry, I should do decimal points properly. Okay? So this is going to be our 3/8 as a percentage is going to be 37.5%.
Yes.
Okay? Great. So that's the forward direction. So if we're going from fractions or a decimal, decimals are a little bit easier because we know we just move our decimal point over 2 spaces to multiply by 100.
Yes.
Okay, let's try going in the reverse direction now. Right. Okay, so if I have a percentage and I want to turn it into a decimal, how do I do that?
So it's gonna be, so you're gonna divide it.
Yeah, divide it.
Yeah, by 10.
Not by 10.
100.
Yeah, 100. So let's think about the meaning of that. So if you've got something on a scale of 0 to 100, yes, sir.
Yeah, so say if you got like a number and it's 90, what you're gonna do is, because the desk over here, can you see? I wrote 90. Because the decimal is here, when you do, you're gonna move it 100. So it's gonna be 0.90.
Yeah, perfect. So exactly right. So if we've got 90%, we take 90 and we divide it by 100. Yeah, perfect. So if we're going percentage and we want to convert to a fraction or a decimal, we have to, of course, divide it by 100. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so is this kind of seems pretty familiar? So we'll move on to look at the other stuff that we covered last week. So that was our idea going between fractions and percentages. Now, what we're using this for is we're using so the percentage multiplier. If I want to find something as a percentage, we use this percentage multiplier.
Yes.
So I think maybe if you, sorry, did you say something that's cut off a little bit from me?
No.
Oh, okay. So if we want to find a percentage of a number, we can use a percentage multiplier to help us find that.
Yes.
Let's have a look at an example. So let's say we wanted to find 60% of 200. We first take the 60% and we turn it into a fractional decimal. So we see how we do that. We do 60 divided by 100 gives us 0.6.
Yes.
And this thing here, it's not look very clear at all. This 0.6 here is our percentage multiplier.
Yes.
Okay, so this thing here is percentage multiplier. Now, our percentage multiplier, we then multiply the number that we're finding our percentage of by the multiplier, hence the name multiplier. So we do 0.6 times 200, and then we saw the grid method that you were using last time. So we just write the answer down. Here is going to be 120. Well, of course, we can use the proper grid method as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's our percentage multiplier. So what we need to do is we need to take our percentage, divide it by 100 to turn it into a fractional decimal, and then multiply it with the amount we need to give us the answer to this kind of question. Now, the next thing that we need to also look at here is we also needed to look at when we were doing reverse percentages. And we could actually use this method of percentage multiplier to work out these reverse percentages as well.
Yes.
Now, let's say we know that 60% of a number
Yes.
is equal to 120. And our task this time is to find what's that number.
Yes.
Okay? So let's start again by finding the percentage multiplier here. So once again, as before, 60 divided by 100 is equal to 0.6. And now we calculate in reverse because this is a reverse percentage. We're finding our original 100%. So what we do is we take our number 120 and we divide it by 0.6. And that's going to give us 200.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. So now we know that 200 is equal to 100%. So it's equal to the original number.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how we use our percentage multipliers. Now I'll just give you a quick example of using those two things. If I want to find 32%, and if you want to use a calculator, you can for these, but you should be able, they'll be doable by hand as well.
Okay.
So 32% of 400. So how can we use our percentage multiplier
Oh yes.
to find 32% of 400?
Yes. So what we need. Okay, hold on. Let me get a fresh page. Can I? I'll do the work. Okay. So. So it's going to be 0.4 because 32 divided by 4 yeah,
Divided by
400.
not 400. So we divide it by 100.
Yes, 100.
So we're turning it from a percentage into a decimal.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's this answer here going to be?
0.4.
Not 0.4.
Yes.
So we're doing 0.3. Sorry.
0.32.
Yeah, perfect. So this is going to be 0.32. Okay, so this guy here is our, give it a name, we're going to call it, this is called the percentage multiplier. Okay, so that's our percentage multiplier. Now, how do we use our percentage multiplier? What do we do from here?
So now what we're going to do is 0.32 multiplied by 400. And then, let me do the thing here. Just gonna... 120. And then, now what we need to do... Oh wait, that's 120. Forgot the... There.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more as well.
How? And then now what we need to do is what's next? Oh, yes. How do we do this?
So you've got the right idea. So we are multiplying 0.32 by 400. Just let's check that answer. So maybe we can try the grid method here.
Yes.
So the grid method says 0.3, 0.02, and 400.
Yes.
Like this. So see if this, so we can fill in those grid pattern here.
Yes. So times 0, it's going to be 100. Wait. 400. Multiplied. So hold on.
Yeah, so 120 goes here, and what goes in this square here?
80? Or no?
It's really close with 80, not quite 80.
800.
Not 800, so I think, so, 8, yeah.